Hi everybody, I'm Steve and welcome back to my channel. So a lot of you may know that Tim Talks Talkies, and several months ago he did like a top 25 90s movies, and he had like 160 people on YouTube participate in that top 25, and now he's got a challenge for top 25 of the 1980s. And I consider that decade to be really formative for me as far as movie going. I was like 10 years old in 1983, so it was definitely that time when I was learning a lot about movies, and so I put together a top 25. It's a lot of stuff that adults would like. I don't have a ton of kids stuff on it. There's no animation. I'm surprised that I don't have as much like action movies, and I don't have a ton of science fiction. Definitely a lot of science fiction, but not as much as I thought it would have. Not as many drama and some drama here or there, but just a lot of stuff that I would have thought that a kid would have liked at that time. Didn't make the list, and there were like maybe 30 movies that I had to take off my list because I had to get it down to 25. So, but this is really exciting. You can leave in the comments. You can say, what about this movie? What about that movie? And I could probably tell you that it was on my list at one time, and I had to take it off just because I'm putting them in movies that I watch a lot. Movies from the 80s that I've continued to watch over the years, and some movies I watch like at least once. One time a year. It's usually like around Christmas time. So I don't have a ton of Christmas movies, but there's basically one legitimate Christmas movie and one that some people can debate whether it's a Christmas movie or not. You'll probably know what I mean when I say that. But so starting off at number 25, I have National Lampoon's Vacation. This is great. The family goes from like Chicago to California to go to Wally World. And it's a lot of fun, just that road trip kind of movie. Love that, and obviously there's another vacation movie that I have later on my list, but this one's number 25. So at number 24, this one I'm actually reading a book right now. This is Caddyshack. So that number 24 is Caddyshack. This is at least 1980. I was only 7 at the time, so this movie some of it probably doesn't. Just doesn't fit today's culture necessarily, but I love the humor in it. Bill Murray's really great in it. So number 24. At number 23, this one's a box set, but I've got Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade listed here at number 23, and this one's I'm going to use this book. I have to use this kind of a guide here to I have to show this again later because there's another one in here, but Last Crusade, that one. Love that, and it has Sean Connery in it. I'm a huge James Bond fan, so it's great to have Sean Connery in this movie. But so I put this one to the side. That one will come up again. But as far as number 22, I have Airplane. This one's a nutty, movie based on a lot like the disaster movies that took place in the 1970s. In fact, there's a movie called Airport. This one is basically parodying a lot of that stuff from the original Airport. When I saw Airport earlier this year, I thought so much of this movie was kind of made fun of in Airplane. So this one's stayed with me over the years, and I have the steel book of it. So that's a great one. At number 21, I have Ferris Bueller's Day Off. This is Matthew Broderick. Just takes place in Chicago. This one has just stayed with me over the years. It's one of those great comedies that a lot of people watch still. And it keeps getting re-released on physical media. So that one at number 20, I have this great movie. It's called Blade Runner. This one has like 3 different versions of the movie in here. From Ridley Scott. This is like the second big movie that he had. I think it's maybe like a 3rd or 4th movie overall in his career as a film director. But definitely this is kind of a dark science fiction kind of movie. Starring Harrison Ford. This one, some people, it kind of has like almost like an art house kind of feel to it, and so this movie may not be for everybody. It may be a little too artsy for some people, but I really enjoy that one. At number 19, this one I have this on the Criterion Collection, and I think this one might make a lot of people's list, but it's The Princess Bride. I enjoy this. It has so many different genres on it. It has so many quotable lines. It's As You Wish. It's one of the big ones. But so many great lines, and it's just an action adventure kind of movie. It has Andre the Giant, former pro wrestler. In it. The Princess Bride. At number 18, I have American Werewolf in London. This one, it's directed by John Landis. It's just one of those movies that it has a lot of comedy in it. It's a lot of horror. It's mixing those two genres together. Some people don't like to see comedy in their horror movies, but it's just a couple Americans that go to London, and you have to watch the movie to see what happens. But it's got some dark stuff in it. It's got Rick Baker got an Oscar for his werewolf transformation in the movies. That had nobody ever seen that kind of makeup effects done in real time. So that's a great one. At number 17, I have Predator. This is starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. It has so many great it's a Jesse the Body Ventura is in it. It's just I really I like the second one a lot, but really the sequels I don't really enjoy that much. It's always the original for me. So I have that one at number 17. At number 16, so I have the other vacation movie, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This one I watch every single year. So a lot of these movies I wouldn't say I watch every year, but this one I have to watch it every year. It's just a Christmas movie, and it's a I love the Griswolds. It takes place. This one's actually in Chicago. They don't go on like a road trip or anything, but definitely have to watch this every year though. At number 15, I have E.T. This is the one that's Steven Spielberg. It definitely carries over from that from my childhood quite a bit. This is something that it's definitely for kids, but I love the character. He's definitely lighthearted. So definitely that one. This was released the same year as The Thing. The Thing is like this dark alien kind of creature, and then you got E.T. that's definitely a lovable kind of family entertainment. So it's a great one from Steven Spielberg. From number 14, this one, Steven Spielberg actually was an executive producer on it, and some people even think that he may have actually directed some of the movie as well, but it's Poltergeist. I've watched this one, like 82, I was 9, so this one I've watched over the years. I had to buy when it was released on 4K, I had to buy this. But this one's definitely, it's not pure horror, it's scary, a lot of like ghosts and scary kind of images in it, but it's not pure horror. But Tobe Hooper is credited as the director of this, and obviously he did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So yeah, Poltergeist. So at number 13, I have Ghostbusters. Definitely they've made basically 3 sequels since then. One was didn't have the original cast, and most recently is Ghostbusters Afterlife. This is a 1984. I think they have another Ghostbusters movie getting released on December 20th of this year, and Ivan Reitman directed this movie, and he's passed away now, and so his son Jason is producing, and he wrote the new movie, and he wrote Afterlife, which this one's a great one. He also directed Ghostbusters Afterlife, but yeah, definitely Ghostbusters has stayed with me over the years. I love the original more than any of the sequels. The second one was okay, but for me, it's the original. Number 12, I have Fast Times at Ridgemont High. This is on the Criterion Collection. Yeah, this one stayed with me over the years. This was 1982. It's got so many feature stars in it. Sean Penn was huge in this movie. He was already kind of becoming a star at the time. Forrest Whitaker's in it. That's really great. But yeah, definitely one of the best comedies I've ever seen. It was written by Cameron Crowe. Amy Heckerling was the director of this, so yes, this one stayed with me over the years. Next one, this one, some people may think this is kind of ranked a little bit low, and it's not in my top 10, but I have Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. One of the great ones at the end of the original trilogy, which I love the original trilogy, and obviously you'll see the other one from the 80s will come up later, but yeah, definitely Return of the Jedi. It's basically the rebels come back in the third one. So yeah, definitely that one. At number 10, I have Batman 1989. This one directed by Tim Burton. It has a Jack Nicholson as a Joker, and it has definitely Michael Keaton as a Batman. So yeah, so I have to have that one at number 10. Number 9, I have The Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is his big breakout role. This one's really more of a horror movie, and the sequel, part two, was more of an action kind of movie. Definitely more comedy in that one. But this one's more serious. You know, Arnold was definitely somebody you had to take seriously. You know, he's just big, kind of an imposing kind of character. So yeah, this one I consider this to be more of like a horror movie. Compared to the other movies in the franchise, I had to put this one at number 9. So number 8, this is the other one this is the other one that I consider to be a Christmas movie. A lot of people would debate that, but it's Die Hard. You know, so this at number 8, you know, this movie was released like in July of 1988. So definitely a lot of people consider it to be a summer blockbuster kind of movie. But then it takes place in California during like a Christmas party. It has Christmas music throughout. So that's why I watch it every year at Christmas time. So I never watch it any other time. But it's just like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I have to watch that every year, and I have to watch this one as well during the Christmas time. So that's why I consider it to be a Christmas movie. But you can definitely debate whether it is or not. At number 7, I have The Untouchables. This one's it's Kevin Costner, has a Robert De Niro. You know, it's outstanding. Sean Connery won an Oscar for this. You know, so this is one I have to watch quite often. But it's a Brian De Palma movie, so it has all those people involved in one movie. It's like it has to be a big time movie. You know, it's Al Capone is Robert De Niro is playing that character, so it's definitely a great one. So at number 6 I have. So this is back to my box set here. I have Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now I think it's called now Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. But you know, definitely a lot of people have seen the new movie Dial of Destiny, but Raiders is where it all started. It's definitely when Harrison Ford was still young in 1981. You know, but yeah, I love that franchise, and I like the new movie. I thought was better than the Crystal Skull. But this one I have at number 6. At number 5, I have Aliens. Directed by James Cameron. Definitely, Ridley Scott did the original one in '79, and then this sequel came out in 1986. And Ridley Scott really liked James Cameron's sequel. He really liked what he did with the characters. Sigourney Weaver came back. Became that action star that some people idolize. And so, yeah, definitely Aliens. Back to the Future at number 4. This one was so great at the time. It's definitely one of those that I still have to watch. I like the original a lot more than the sequels. Part 2 was pretty good. Part 3 had a lot of stuff I liked about it, but you love seeing those characters come back. But so yeah, definitely Back to the Future at number 4. Number 3 from Stanley Kubrick, I have The Shining. This one, Jack Nicholson was so scary in this movie. It's based on a Stephen King book. Stephen King didn't really like what Stanley Kubrick did with his book, and necessarily. But then Dr. Sleep was released, and it kind of combined a lot of stuff that was in Stephen King's the sequel book, and had kind of homage to Stanley Kubrick as well. So it's just that for years. Stephen King just didn't like what Stanley Kubrick did to his characters and to the story, but I still love this. The twins. Danny, come play with us. Definitely that scene. So at number 2, I have from John Carpenter. I have The Thing. This one, definitely The Thing is really a scary movie. It was released the same year as E.T. I think E.T. may have been released first. And then a lot of people they were so used to seeing like friendly aliens and they got this alien in this movie, and it didn't know how to take it. This movie definitely became has a cult following. Originally it didn't do that well at the box office, and just through home entertainment, through HBO and just people watching it on TV at home, this movie just grew in popularity. And so when I say a cult following, it's definitely a huge cult following. It's beloved by everybody. A lot of people consider it to be John Carpenter's best movie. I rank it in, somewhere in the top 3. Finally, at number 1, this one, like I said, I mentioned the other one from Star Wars. This is Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. This ending, when my mom took me to see this in 1980. As a 7-year-old, I just remember hearing I'm not going to spoil anything, but just that big speech at the end of the movie that shocked the world. It's just one of the best written stories ever. Just no one saw it coming, and it was. I remember the adults just kind of just people just talking for like 2 or 3 minutes after that big ending, and just people just were shocked to find out how that story kind of came together. So yeah, this one's definitely the darkest one of the original trilogy. Some people don't like that because it's so dark, but in the original Star Wars is so great from '77. But from 1980, Empire Strikes Back is my #1. So thanks everybody. Please come up with your own top 25 and submit it to Tim Talks Talkies. He'd love to have that. And I think we're going to have a lot more than 160 entrants this year. And last year I got like 16 out of the 90s. I got 16 out of 25, which was like the most of anybody that had come up with the movies there. So he just kind of accumulates everybody's picks, and he comes up with one master list, basically one ultimate top 25 of all the lists that he gets turned in. So, but yeah, I'm excited that when he did that video, it's like he really loved what I did with my video for the 90s. So I hope this one will turn out well. And so thanks everybody. Please put a thumbs up on this video, and please consider subscribing to my channel. And have a great one. Thank you.